Josh, do you want one of these too, so you can?
Yeah,
see
sure.
what
So
we're going
follow
through?
along. Yeah, of course.
Utilize them as reference.
And then, you know, if at any point you want me
We
to
will,
share
yeah.
this, I can plug it in or send it to Austin or something.
Yeah, we're gonna go through what KW has.
Yeah, no.
And then we're gonna
absolutely.
talk about how they can maximize it with you.
The one I have is one that I actually done.
That you
with
did?
Rochelle.
Awesome,
So,
cool. Okay, so everybody wants business, right?
Yeah. Heck yeah.
I want some more yes other than Josh.
Yes, please.
Who
Give me
wants
that
more
business.
buyers?
I do.
And with buyers could come what?
Money.
More leads.
Sellers.
Sellers.
Maybe we need to go back to the beginning and reteach. No, I'm just kidding. John, you were new. So most likely when a homeowner is thinking about buying a new home, they're probably going to go research and start shopping first before they actually think about selling their home, right? But so they might pop into some open houses to see what's out there, maybe to see what their competition is, maybe to see what they want to look for before they even talk to your real estate agent. So when you're doing open houses or you're doing seminars or anything, every potential buyer could be a potential seller. So we need to be prepared and ready for that. Now, this particular one is for first-time home buyers, but you can take seminars, learn from what you're doing with this, and you can turn it into any kind of seminar. And some of the best people to work with on seminars, especially if you're helping people buy or sell, is a lender, which is why we have Josh and our right?
Okay.
Because they want to do it with you. They can help you. They can actually host it. If you're not comfortable standing up and talking to the people in the room about the home buying process or selling their home or whatever it is, all the things that go with it, or how they can sell a home and buy a home at the same time, that's a big one. That's actually one I've sent someone over to Josh for. That would be a great seminar. And the best time to do your seminars is coming up in January, don't you think, Josh?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, there was some statistics out that I saw last year, or maybe it was the year before, but January 1st is the most searched internet day for new homes each year, is like January 1st. So, I mean, obviously, if people are thinking about, you know, their New Year's resolutions and things that they have, you know, setting their goals for the New Year's, then, you know, then absolutely the beginning of the year is a great time to find people when they're feeling fresh and, you know, positive and
Want to make a change. Yep,
Absolutely.
yep.
So they go visit their family members who just bought a new house.
Oh, and it's like, oh, I want this,
Yes.
right? Or when they start putting up their Christmas decorations, they're like, I want a bigger house. I want to host Christmas here, right? Life changes happen and your life changes. And that's when you want a bigger house or a smaller house. Maybe you're tired of decorating the whole entire house. So let's learn how to do seminars. Now, oh, I know what I needed to do, Austin. I'm going to let you guys know right off the bat that everybody can go to Kwconnect.com because you can get this too. I'm actually taking something they provided to you directly as a buyer, as an agent, and I'm turning it into a class to teach you guys how to do it. Get logged in. You always have to log into KW Connect. When you come in here, you just do a quick search and type in, you got to click on in there, Win Big with Seminars, and hit search, and guess what's going to pop up right there. So you just click on it, and here's everything you need. Now I have downloaded everything, and I've got flyers here that I'm handing out to people in the room, and I can share this link in our Slack channel for you guys to have access to later. I can also upload every single document. There's tons of them. And there's a PowerPoint presentation that you can actually go in, edit, make it yours, right? Personalize it and utilize that PowerPoint during your seminar, okay? And then, or you can work with Josh. Josh already has one done that he's going to show us. And you can blend them. You can have him do his, add you to it, right? So there's many different ways that you can do this. But all your tools are right here on this website for you to go down. And you just click on these and you can grab all of the documents that you need. So let's go back. No, that's not it. Here we go. One of the documents that we have is Win Big with Seminars, your first home worksheet. So it's kind of a checklist plan for you guys. How to plan it, right? So you're gonna look at how many people you're wanting to come to it, how many seminars you're gonna do each month or each year, how to promote it, use your database, emails to your database, make phone calls to get people to come to it, do social media posts, using, it says free marketing suite templates. I don't know if they have any of the seminar media posts in designs or not, but you could easily create one, or I bet even Josh might have one. Use Facebook to do a paid ad out to get people to come that you don't know, and invite people on an event page, so all your friends, your family, your coworkers, anybody that you know. Flyers, you print them out, you can hang them, you know, depending on what you want to, where your reach is at, right? Why not at a lender's office? Then you present it. So you download all of these materials here. You make sure you know what you have. You talk with Josh, if you're gonna have Josh do it with you, and learn what he goes through. It's a good idea to sit down and actually go through your PowerPoint, so it's easier to go through the process, right? Customize it. Make sure you have your app downloaded on your phone. You don't need to ask your market center about using Keller Mortgage unless you don't know how to use it. So if you don't know how to use it, then we need to have another class on it. Committed, or, you know, when you meet your first time with Austin, ask Austin. He just walked out of his room, so catch Austin and see if he knows how to use Keller Mortgage. He does. He bought his first house with him. And then, you know, guess what? There's scripts in here. Huh? Don't we love scripts? Conversations. It's good to have them because you can look through and then you can edit it, change it, maybe just grab some PowerPoint or some powerful little points within each script that you can then have an easier conversation with, right? I'm not saying I don't like scripts. What I don't like is like, go, right? That, and so when I get put on the spot scripts, I don't like that. It's the introvert in me. And then pursue them. When you're at the seminar and you have people that actually show up to it, you want to ask them for an appointment. If they'd be interested in scheduling an appointment with you and your lender that's there to talk about, you know, to go further and deeper into the home buying process, make sure you enter your appointments. So by entering your appointments, you actually have to put their contact information into Command and put in that you had an appointment with them, right? And then it talks about ranking them in your pipeline, but that, I think, more the drag and drop kind of thing. This was created in 18, probably before they really built that out in Command. Make sure that you put them on a follow-up campaign. And then also, then you want to follow up with them. Thank them for coming. You can offer an item of value if you want. I think the appointment is the biggest thing, right? Get them to come in, schedule an appointment, or if they know anyone else that's thinking about it. So you want to do that, right? Any thoughts on that, Josh?
Can you mention that Command, and people can sign up for these seminars via Command? Is that what you said?
No, Facebook, social media, but they can do the ads through Command.
Oh, okay.
Or you can create the Facebook event.
So if they click on it, it can like funnel them to
Yeah.
sign up sheet like that. Okay.
Yeah, or, you know, if you're going to post it out there socially, put a link on it and create a page on your website. I'd rather create a page on my website with a sign up than create a landing page, because a landing page is just that page that you created.
Right.
A website additional page, if they want, they can go search for homes.
Yeah.
Right. And I want them to go search on my website. I want them to play around in there and feel like that, oh, this is great. I'm going to keep coming here. right? So anytime I send someone to a URL, I want it to be within my website. And it's really, really easy to create a page on your website.
Right.
So yeah, you can send them all there to a sign up. The people will automatically come in as a contact on command.
When they sign
Instantly.
up there, will that,
Mhm.
so say it's like a hybrid, a Zoom class, or it's
Yeah.
versus in person, because I've done them both ways now.
Yeah,
And is there an option where you can do it where it registers for them emails and that Zoom link as well?
no, well, yes, because what you could do is you could create a smart plan that's specific for your seminars. And in that smart plan, you can have that anytime the lead comes in and you tag it a certain tag, then they automatically get set up on the smart plan. And in that smart plan, your very first email could be, thank you for signing up for a seminar. Here's the link for the Zoom meeting. Or if you want it in person, because it's easier to create a relationship that way, I look forward to seeing you. Here's our address and everything like that. And then have a follow-up. Don't forget to come to the seminar, right? Do it. It depends on how far out your seminar is going to be. If you're going to do it a couple weeks in advance, then you're probably going to have at least a week, an instant, a week, 3 days before, and day of. Right? And those are just quick little, you could do it by emails, you could do it by email and text. You can mix it up, right? Or you make a phone call.
Yeah, I think something like that's definitely effective, because then you're getting repeat reminders.
Right, and everybody needs it. I need it. You
Yeah.
don't know that. I'm not sad one. Sorry, Kirk.
Okay.
Right? Because we get busy. Everybody gets busy and they forget about what their appointment is or what their plans are for that night, or something else comes up and then they can't do it, right? So yeah, you could totally make it to where it automatically gets put out. Now, the other thing that Command can do when you do your ad that you're creating, and now this is a paid ad, right? Because I want to get it out to get multiple people to see it. So when I do a paid ad through Command, any leads that come in off of that post, well, I can put it to where they're automatically tagged, and then that triggers the smart plan. So it's completely automated. I just have to create the ad, create the smart plan for the follow-up stuff, and then put it out there, and then bam, that tells me, because I watch my task, tells me what I need, if I need to make a phone call or send a text, if I don't have Twilio set up. If I have Twilio set up, it's going to be automatic.
Interesting.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. No,
Why doesn't
yeah.
everybody use it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
They just need somebody to walk them
Right.
through it the first time, you know?
Yeah, I've got tons of videos for that.
Yeah.
And Austin can show you how to do it.
Okay.
And I can show you how to do it. And we could actually do it in a class if we wanted to do it in a class in our group coaching on Wednesday. Not next week, because next week we're taking off for Christmas.
Right.
We're here, but no classes, so you guys can take it off for Christmas. How about that? Cool? Any questions? No? Anybody online? Sounds easy? Who's gonna do it? You gotta speak up, because otherwise I have to go like all the way over here to see who's on there. Anybody gonna do it?
Wait, what are the seminars?
Yeah,
Oh, I already.
awesome. So who's gonna do the smart plans and the Facebook posts to get people to come to it? That's right. Okay, so the next sheet that we have, should probably pop over here. This meeting is being recorded. Okay, my first home notes. So this could be something that you would actually hand out to the people that come. And maybe Josh has something better. I don't know. I haven't done one with him yet. So basically you're gonna put your name on there, and you're gonna put the loan officer on there. If you have a loan officer in the room helping you with the seminar, let's pre-fill it out and let's put their information in there. Or we can leave it blank and we can talk them through it. If you don't have one, we'd love if you'd put me on there. And if you don't have a lender yet, Josh would love to speak with you. So let's put him down there and let's give you his contact information, right? So you can walk him through it if you wanted to. Why buy now? You could talk about that. And then they can just fill out this whole thing by themselves. Am I blocking it for you guys? Right? I mean, there's a lot of information on here. And sometimes your first first-time homebuyers, they didn't realize that there's this much information that they need to know about buying a home, right? I think one of the biggest things that first-time homebuyers are unaware of is their down payment. Would you agree with that?
I think a lot of people think they have to put 20 down.
Every time, right?
You tell them they can use 3% down, and they're like, I could have bought a house 3 years ago.
Right? It's fantastic. That's one of the reasons why we have a home buying seminar. So marketing it is gonna be huge. You could start it out with thinking about buying a home. Did you know you don't have to put 20% down? And then join my seminar, come learn all the facts about buying your first home. Simple, quick, effective. If it's too busy, no one's gonna, they're just, oh, that's an ad, right? And they're gonna scroll right on past it. So you wanna make sure that any of the social media postings you do is very simple, very clear, intrigues them, gives a value, and then requires a reply. So any questions about this form? I like how at the bottom it says what I do for you. So that's you as a real estate agent. You educate them about the market, you analyze their wants and needs, you steer them. That actually should not say that.
Yeah.
I would actually go in and edit this because we don't steer anybody, correct? Steer you to homes that fit your criteria, coordinate the work of other professionals, negotiate on your behalf, and solve any problems that may arise. I can't believe they have steer on there. If anyone has Adobe Deluxe Pro or whatever, you can edit that. You probably want to do that. Or recreate. These are easy to recreate, right? Win big with first-time homebuyer leads. So this would be for you guys. How are you going to get them? Where are you going to find these people to come to this seminar you want to do? We're going to do demographic farming. Obviously, newlyweds and engaged couples, right? How do we do that? Does anyone know how to farm newlywed or engaged? No? You do?
I'm trying.
Are you trying?
Yeah, I'm right about it.
Yeah. So you can, number one, you can look within your own sphere, right? You can type in Facebook, search, engaged. How many people are like, yeah, I'm engaged,
That's what I'm like.
Especially during the Christmas season.
Right?
right? So all of your friends and family that pops up is, you know, it'll show it. If someone got engaged, someone's gonna say, yeah, I'm engaged. Or it's gonna be a status.
Yeah.
So searching within Facebook, you can search just about anything, and you just gotta have the patience to filter through it, right? But also, it might be a category in Command Facebook when we're creating the ad, because they keep adding more demographics in there. So I would look in there when you're, because you can pick who you're farming actually to, and that could be one. Recent college graduates, college students and their parents. Did you hear that, Nicole? I was talking to Nicole last night because I have evening group coaching for full-time students, people who have full-time jobs that can't come to any of the classes during the weekdays. And she's a full-time student. I'm like, you've got lots of friends at that college, and they all have family members who may or may not want to buy or sell a house. Target your friends, right? Get them to share your posts that you do about real estate, or that you're a realtor now, and then that they can work with you. Teachers, military, new and expecting parents. Mark, did you not just buy a new house and you're having a baby?
That is true. I did buy a house and we are having a baby here in January.
Who knew? Did you get a bigger house?
No, actually, we downsized.
Oh, wow, you downsized. Well, John in here just had a baby too, so when you make money selling some homes in real estate, are you gonna get a bigger house? Yeah, you are. I saw your vision board you made yesterday. He's got high goals. I like it, right? It's a great, there's another one, right? New baby, just type in baby. You'll probably get way too much stuff, but you might get some interesting stuff. This is my favorite. It says high-end renters, but man, I would just go with renters, period. Michaela, we've talked about it. I talked about it with a couple other people. You can go into Remine, you can search for people that are homes that are non-owner occupied. And if it's non-owner occupied and they've owned a home for, I would do at least 3 years. Maybe you could do less than that, but try like, 3 years or more if you want to try to get the listing, right? Maybe they're interested in selling because they didn't know their house was up that much. But who probably lives in that home? A renter. How can you find out who? You could send it current resident, but if something comes to me at current resident, you think I'm going to open it up?
No.
Even if it's a handwritten letter?
No.
No. How do you find out who actually lives there? What's the easiest way? Anybody?
Okay, I know what to do.
You do now because I told you.
Okay, right, but there's also something else too that you can do. So there's like this website, I know it's kind of bad, you gotta check like the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's called Free People Search,
Oh, yeah.
and I just do the address and then it lets me know like everything, like who owns it, like who lives there.
Yep.
Well,
Oh, yeah. You can just Google the address and you can see right away. So there's all kinds of systems out there that you can pay for, not pay for. There's so many easy ways to find out who is living in the home if it's a non-owner occupied. And Remine tells you which homes are non-owner occupied. So you can, but you got to zoom it in, right? Because you'd be surprised at how many homes in a general area are actually non-owner occupied. So you got to zoom in because I think it only does like 200. So you zoom in and you find the neighborhoods you want to target, right? And then now you know every home that doesn't have an owner in it, or you can go straight to and look at apartment complexes. Find one apartment complex and mail them an invitation to your first time home buyer seminar. If you want, you could be really tricky. You could call and find out how much the rent is, right? You could search it. You could probably Craigslist it. You could Hotpads. Hotpads.com is a place where you can find rental properties. Go on there, see if the property comes up. Look what the average rental price is of one of the properties, because I guarantee you if it's an apartment complex, they probably have some available for rent. So then you can go in and you can find how much the rent is. Ask Josh, what type of house is this? If these guys are paying $1,500, probably $1,700 a month for rent, how can they buy a house? Can they buy a condo? Can they buy a townhome? Like, what does that get them? And then now we're targeting them with a specific ad that talks about why pay rent when you can own, and this is what you can own, right? Come find out about it. I mean, you want to do a little bit more than that because everybody does why rent when you can buy, but you can really focus it down and do exactly something that's going to really like pop and shock them.
Yeah, but what happens if people like, because everyone always says this, they're like, oh, I can't buy a house, like I went bankrupt or foreclosed.
When's the last time you talked to a lender? Some of them are afraid to.
Yeah, I mean, it really, everybody's situation is different, right?
Mhm.
There's this meme going around Facebook that I've seen recently, that says that your parents are not home inspectors.
I love that one.
Yeah,
Keep the parents out of your home.
yeah, so, your parents and friends, your coworkers are also not lenders.
That's right.
Or probably aren't, and if they are, hopefully they're giving better advice. But, everybody's situations can be different. Part of the, reason why they talk to a lender is to take that question out, right?
Right.
If it's, if they can't buy right now, then what do they need to do to buy?
That's the next step, is your lender working with you
Right,
to help you get to the step of being able to buy.
right. What's your
Maybe
timeline?
it's only 3 months down the way.
Mhm.
That's why you want them to talk to a good lender.
Right, most of the time when people have that fear, they don't do anything about their situation, and you really need a starting point, some steps to follow, in order to get ready to buy a home.
Yeah.
So, it all depends.
It all depends.
Yep.
Yep. So that's your biggest one. Millennials. I just saw Rochelle sent me a video link about social media. Well, I don't know. I got a couple of them. People, oh gosh, I can't remember what it said. It was basically that most people think that the young millennials of today are lazy and don't want to do anything. And he says, when in fact, the majority of them are making more money doing TikTok, YouTube, but because they've done some videos that's getting ads on it, and now they're making money off of it. Is it late? And they don't want to go to college. It was about going to college, right? And getting a real job. And a lot of people don't want to do that nowadays because it's becoming easier-ish to make money just dinking around. You know, so millennials are actually making a lot of money. How do you think you've had more younger buyers than?
Millennials are definitely the biggest new first-time home buyer wave right now.
Yeah,
You know, I think the stat was like, you know, the percentage was over 30% now. It's in the mid-30s, I think.
yeah,
Which, when you add in the rest of the categories, is the largest of the group. And
right,
that's just going to continue to grow.
right.
You know, in the next 5-10 years.
Yeah.
For sure. So it's definitely
Technology's made a big change.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a demographic you want to, you know, you want to tackle.
Right?
So, yeah.
I'd probably say
absolutely.
and that 30% is probably people under 25. Or do you think it's under 30?
I mean, I think it sort of spans the gamut right now. Part of the thing is the reason why you've got more of an age gap is because back in 2008 with the original
Right,
financial meltdown, there were a lot of people who weren't able to get jobs. And so now you've got these older, quote,
yeah,
millennials, and this bigger, you know, gap to where they're getting, you know, they have, you know, more jobs now, as well as the younger, you know, side of it. And so you really just sort of spans that whole gamut, because you've got more that, you know, are getting better jobs now that weren't able to get jobs back then. So,
Right.
you know, or they're getting promoted or whatever. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's, you know, it spans the whole, I mean, that whole section is just huge. Right
yeah.
now. Mhm.
So you definitely want to hit your younger people, and then singles too, right? Hopefully, you know, I know Portland's really expensive for single people to buy, but if they're making dang good money, why not, right? Or they can buy and rent out the room, right? Buy a duplex, rent out the other side. Everybody wants to do that. I don't
Even
know.
if you're single and friends, like just. rent
Yeah.
your rooms out.
Rent your rooms out. Oh. I don't like living with other people.
Well, as you're talking about, as you're also talking about, you know, neighborhoods or like apartment complexes, these places that you want to advertise to, most of these places have their own internal Facebook pages,
Right,
you know, communities.
yep, get in them.
If you're able to, if one's public, or, you know, you're able to, you know,
You can lose all your money.
get in on one, you know, then you can, you know, then you can,
Yeah,
and the admin allows it, you know.
that's right.
You can, you know, potentially advertise there for something like that as well.
Yeah.
You know, or I think it allows you to say, you know, people in this, you know, group or whatever, so.
Yeah, make sure if you join any groups, you always look at what they allow and don't allow.
Right, the rules.
Otherwise you'll get kicked out.
People get tested.
They get testy, yeah. Okay, then events. This is another way to get a first-time homebuyer lead. And of course, first-time homebuyer seminars, which is what we're talking about today, right? You can do it for employees of vendors, allied resources, or businesses in your community. You know, and did you guys know that you can use this room here at any time of day if we don't have something already booked in it for free, for a seminar, for a party, for a baby shower, for a book club, for whatever you want. You can use this room. You just have to, I know, every time they get an appointment, they ding. So all you have to do is scan the QR code that's right outside the door and book it. right? It'll tell you someone else has it. Target open houses. First time home buyer price range and location. Another great way to do that is when we have more listings. Listings are down. It always goes down in December. It'll start picking back up come January. But if you see that, you know, I've shown most of you guys how to go in our MLS and find all of our listings that we have, right? But you can also go in our MLS and you can look at all of the open houses that are coming up for the weekend. Find all the ones that are in a general neighborhood, especially if they're all like really close by. And if they're a first time home buyer price point, why don't you see about joining up and having, especially if it's KW ones, because then they have what they have a thing called Paint the Town Red, right? So you got all these KW, you guys all hosted at the same time, and you post the red KW open house signs everywhere. And you could have a flyer for your seminar in there to help them buy a house, right? Or you can invite people to a seminar to the open houses that following weekend. Think about all the different ways that you can do it. Weddings and bridal events. Dun, dun, dun. Who goes to weddings? You guys are all young enough. You have friends that are getting married. Mine are not. Mine are getting divorced. I'm just kidding.
I'm past that stage.
You're getting divorced too soon.
My friends are all getting divorced.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you go through
Divorce stage,
phases.
right?
Yeah, and then there'll be a new phase where it's married again. If you have friends and family that are having a wedding, or a bridal shower, what's a great way that you can market there? I've got one for you, but what's a great way that you think you can market it?
You can drop your card on the back and forth,
Mhm.
and then someone.
Speaking that up.
I'm not.
I mean, it feels weird just to give it out.
No, there's a better way of doing it. Anybody online? John?
How do I market at a wedding?
Yeah, how would you market yourself at a wedding or a bridal event?
You give a toast and you say, hey,
You can put your name on
anybody need a
it.
house?
Anybody online? Okay. Arta, you got one?
I was gonna say you could sponsor some part of the wedding.
Boom.
Whether it's like the flyer.
Why don't you buy the first 100 drinks? Okay, how much is that?
More than I have.
I was gonna say, I'm broke, so.
Maybe you buy the first 50 drinks.
Sponsor the cupcakes next to the.
Sponsor the cupcakes.
There you
But
go.
think about it, if you're like, so if you're sponsoring something at a wedding and you get one transaction off of it, you think that's gonna pay for the $200 you spend? $500 you spend? Especially if you're at a wedding that is high profile, right? People with a lot of money.
Can't we just make
What?
it sound like, or gifting it kind of, like, oh, for your wedding, I want to give you, like, I want to sponsor your whatever. So it sounds like we're trying to be like.
But you have to do it.
We have like an alternative motive.
No, you could like partner with someone, partner with an event space, partner with
Oh, I see.
a food truck that does weddings.
Find a wedding that's an open bar and then say, hey,
Hey,
I'm sponsoring this.
That's a good idea.
There you go.
and then you help pay for some of it.
I mean, I think it depends on whose wedding it is, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, if they're
Right.
they're your friend and, you know, they're, you know, I mean, comes back to how well you're nurturing your sphere, right? I mean,
Yep,
you know, a lot of times people, they, you know, when they get into this business, you know, whether you're an agent or a lender or whatever, you know, part of the first thing that you're coached to is, you know, market your sphere. And people are like, oh, I don't want to bother my friends and family, you know, I don't want to sound salesy. I'm like, well, who wants to see you succeed, you know,
right.
more? Is it the, you know, the cold calls you're making, you know, the expired listings you're calling, or the people who already know and love you? So, you know,
That's right.
mark those people that are, you know, if you've got somebody and you've got a good relationship with them, say, hey, can I do this for your wedding? You know, it's a gift for you, and, you know, yeah, it could help me too. So, you know, I appreciate it, and, you know, it'd be a way to give back. So let me know if that's something you'd be cool with.
Another way that you can do it, you know, a lot of weddings for the receptions, they do like food trucks and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Why not partner with a food truck
That'd be
that you get your logo on their food truck and that you're gonna help, one, send them weddings to go to. Two, maybe to have your logo on their truck, you're going to help sponsor each event or start it out, which will help them get the deal, right? So if you're willing to help whoever is gonna use this food truck, 100 guests is gonna be about, like we did quite a fusion for Peter's daughter's wedding. I think we had to spend at least $900. What if you did 100 of that? What if you offered every time that they hosted a wedding, you did $100 to have your logo on their truck, your name on the truck, doesn't have to be just be your logo, it could be your name with KWPP, right? And every time they had one, you would sponsor $100. So now, and the wedding party will get to know it, bridal shower, whatever it is, will get to know that you're helping sponsor the first $100 towards their event, right? So they have to share that. It helps them get it because you just saved that wedding party $100 by using that food truck. You guys got to think outside the box on these things, right? So, I mean, doesn't that sound like a great idea?
Yeah, I mean.
And then that food truck, it doesn't just sit
Yeah.
at those events that you go to. If your name is on the truck, no matter what, because you're helping sponsor $100 every time they have an event, what about the times they don't do an event, but they're out there wherever they park their truck? People see your logo 24/7, your name. So you're getting more than $100 value per event. If you get one transaction out of that, you could end up paying for your year or 6 months or whatever it is, right, of having that. I don't know. I like to think outside the box on things and what can I do different that no one else is doing? Right? Okay. Online presence, of course, your website, your social media, and your Facebook business page and event. So you got to do a Facebook event, you got to do a business page ad. You need to do social media ads and you need to put it on your website as well. And then you need to reach out to your database, your own existing database, people that you don't even know if they're thinking about it. You'd be surprised how many people are actually thinking about buying a house that never tell anyone, that it's just a whim and they're like, oh, I'm never going to be able to afford it. Because every time you go to a calculator, what does it do? Automatically puts in the 20% down every single time. So then they think, oh, I'm never going to save that money. My rent, right? So any questions on that? Yeah, okay. I said it wasn't going to be 2 hours. I lied. But we're sharing good stuff, right? Okay, how to host it. Here's a checklist for you. Read through the materials that we have. Prepare for it. You don't technically need a sponsor to pay for your location because it's right here. You want to have some snacks, maybe some handouts or whatever, right? Thank them for coming. You can partner with a lender that might help you with that. I don't know of any that would do that. Do you guys? Josh will do that. He will help. Do invitations the day of seminar. Make sure you have your laptop or it's easier to have your own laptop and come in and plug into this than it is to, unless you want to email it to yourself and then open Gmail and download it, right? And do all that stuff. So give yourself time to do that, is because you guys can see when we go from one class directly into another, we don't have enough time.
You can't just make Austin do it.
Huh?
You can't just make Austin do it.
Not if it's after hours, no.
I got it separate.
You're on your own. Signage. So one of the great things that you guys can do too is, check out the open house signs that are in my office for my new agents. You sign your name, how many you're checking out. You can put one out on the end, one at the door, have one over here. If it's after hours, you're probably going to have to stand at the door and wait and watch, or have somebody do that, and then guide them this way to this room. Simple and easy. So it says you should greet your guests, welcome each one at the door, introduce yourself, ask their names, remember it, that's my hardest part, get them to sign in, when they get here so that you can follow up with them to send them any materials that they might need, right? And then show them where the refreshments are and then have a seat. Share your app with them because then they can go on there and they can search for homes, and you can also get them searching on your site and find their activity that they're doing within Command. Because if they signed up for your seminar through your website, because that's how we're going to guide them to sign up for it, then they're going to be in Command. So now they're actually in Command. If they use that same email address when they log into the app, now it'll show you what they're doing. Okay. Have a reason for them to stay after to talk to you, right? Have some flyers of homes that are for sale, their first time home buyer price rate, so that you can share them, maybe have them over in the back, have them talk to Josh, Arturo, sorry, I told you, I always do that. Can't have two guys with close to the same name. And then, thank them for coming, set up appointments with them, and then the follow-up stuff. Any questions on that one? No? Click. Lifestyle questionnaire. This one's actually a couple of pages. This is kind of that, what are you looking for? It's kind of fun for them to fill out too, right? This is one that we would want to collect from them. So it's a couple of pages long. What's prompting you to move? Do you think that's a great question? Pre-approved, price range, who's living in there? We talked about this in some of our other classes that we've done. Talks about the neighborhoods that they're actually looking for, like what do they really want in it? Maybe they want to be where they can walk to a restaurant, right? Okay, now here's one that is a simple checklist that you could give to them. However, I would ask Josh what he thinks about it. And if he has something similar that he could do, or would he rather just have them, if it's good for them to actually do the loan application. This is a loan application, not a credit check thing. But it's a good one to give to them. But maybe Josh can look at it and go, you know what, we really don't need that. Or maybe we need some more stuff, right? And this would be like, here's a checklist that you can do so that when you're ready to fill out your loan application, you're prepared with everything you need. Right? Josh, holler if you think there's anything they shouldn't.
No, I mean, it's
It's pretty good.
yeah, it's a good template. So absolutely. So
Josh is going to want the PowerPoints on or the PDFs on here so you can copy and paste it and put it into a Academy form one, right? Yes.
exactly.
Say yes.
Color.
Did you guys know that you can just go like this and copy and paste this PDF from a PDF and put it into a new document? Marketing plan. Kind of a repeat, but it kind of just goes into more details about how you can do each one, right? Again, all of these flyers are on that website on KW when Big with Seminars, and also will be uploaded into the Slack channel. And then here's a first time home timeline worksheet, right? Just kind of, it's really short. I actually, well, you can kind of give them a timeline. When do you start working with me? Now. When do you need your finances in order? Now.
Yeah, there's a lot of variations.
Right?
Versions of this type
Is
of
there?
thing. Yeah, and many that are a lot more fun that have they're like little road.
Oh,
maps
there you
and,
go.
And stuff like that. So
Yep.
this is a good example.
It's just short and
Definitely
sweet.
You want something that's a little bit.
We
fun.
have a book in our home buying listing packets that we have. So, but it's like a guiding thing, right? Okay, now we're gonna go, let's see if I can do this. I don't want that part. Well, here's a flyer. Let's do the PowerPoint. So here's a flyer. I bet Josh has a better one. So this is your flyer to invite people to the home buying seminar. So you got that one, and then you have this one. These are just ones that they've created, so you don't have to think and create your own, but you could do one with Josh. I'm sure he has a much better one. Yes?
Yes.
And then you definitely want, like, you don't just want the agent on here, you want the lender on here, right? So that's where I'm saying Josh has a better one because he has them already created.
Yeah,
both
we
of
would
you
go
guys.
on that. Yeah, I can easily go over it.
Or if you love creating and designing your own, then go do that. The next one. Okay, this is actually the PowerPoint seminar. So let's slideshow it from the beginning, and I'll just click through it and we'll just kind of check it out. So this would be, we're gonna just quickly go through it. Just kind of give you an idea, because I want to show you what KW created here for you. These are editable, so you guys can change it, make it your own. And then Josh is gonna bring his up and kind of quickly show you his. We're not gonna like walk through the whole process, right? So just kind of give you an idea. This is what you present. Again, before you present, personalize it. Don't just come in and do it. Welcome. You don't like the pictures? Look at, insert your name in a local neighborhood photo. So get rid of this, right? It's like from a movie set or something. And, but yeah, I mean, that one's kind of right. Again, you're gonna insert your information. This is nice, it's clean, right? Make sure you change out the picture and put you in there. Some information about you, your app. You guys can find this in command under consumer. What do you want to learn about the home buying process? Do you think having a seminar is all about just standing up here and talking?
No, not interactive.
Absolutely, right? So you're gonna interact, you're gonna ask them. Maybe someone might answer this question. So then you can go into it. Facts versus fears about buying a home. Realities of our market today, 6 simple steps to home ownership, financing, and then what are your next steps? So then it's just gonna go right through them. I don't like the blue because in here, I can't really read that, right? So already we know there's something I gotta change. I bet if I look on my computer, nah, it's still a little light. So definitely would change that. More fears versus facts. Yeah, all blue's gotta go, right? I love the blue, but it's too light, you can't read it. So look at that. Mortgage rates are historically low at around 4%. Well, is it 4% right now? It's lower. Change it.
What is it now?
3.5, 3.25.
Yeah, in between.
It all varies on your credit and debt to income ratio and what you're buying. It's always, well, it depends.
Yeah.
That's every lender's favorite statement. Every single one. When we were talking, this has to change because you can't read it, right? And things you've got to edit. So principal and interest, historically, today, you don't know these numbers. Guess who does?
A lender.
Ha! Do you know one?
I do.
Owning versus renting. This is another great one. If you don't know these numbers, we can get these. You can get them from your lender. Another great person to go get these numbers from, Peter. He's been in the business longer than that. I know. He doesn't go back and watch these, thank God. No, I'm just kidding. So, you know, the biggest thing, right? You own an asset that has grown in value well over this amount, and then paying rent, you own nothing. You own nothing.
You're like throwing away money.
You're throwing away money. I just saw a Facebook post about, I was gonna send it to my kids because it was actually a $350,000 property buying today, and in 10 years, at a normal rate of inflation, that their value, their not their value, but their potential equity and income that they could have was $112,000. That's pretty good, right? Why hold off on buying, right? People do this all the time. Again, this blue's okay, but not the for words. Don't use the light, never use light colors for words, even if it matches your logo, your color scheme. Darken it a little bit. And again, red on dark never works well either. So like that, it's telling you realities of the market, average home price. So you're gonna enter in like the market area you guys were talking about. If you have people in here from all areas of Portland, you're gonna wanna go and get the Portland Metro stats that are in here and put all of that in there. And then you can walk through 6 easy steps, hire an agent, secure pre-approved financing, find your home, make an offer, get it inspected, close, and now for your homeowner. Your app, so it shows you how to search. You can go hyper local. Step 1, and then it goes through this: hire an agent, educate them, buyer representation agreement.
Can't even see.
Wow, right? Does that hurt your eyes?
Yeah.
I can't.
Kind of hurts mine.
Sets mutual
Yeah.
expectations in writing.
In writing, yeah. Commit.
Yeah, I cannot. see
Commits
that.
me to finding the perfect home for you, confirms exclusivity between the both of us. So if you don't use a buyer broker agreement form between you and the buyer, would you put this slide in there? Nope. When you hire your agent. So I mean, it just goes through. So you guys can look at this and you can, first steps for pre-approval, pre-qualify.
Can we like add in some like jokes or something? Because it's.
Yeah, you could do whatever you want. But it's an informational seminar, right? They're here to learn, how do I become a homeowner? Did you guys know the difference between a pre-approval and a pre-qualified?
No.
So, Josh, pre-qualified, speak loudly so they can hear you online.
Sure, so, qualified is basically, we ran your credit and you are basing it off of what you told me, right? So, and hey, I make $100,000 a year and I've got, $100,000 in the bank. And you pulled my credit and it came out 720. So great, okay, based on that, you're pre-qualified for X amount. I now, to go to pre-approval, you don't have to prove what you just told me. Pre-approval means you send me your bank statements, your pay stubs, W-2s. Basically, we're verifying all of the information that you told me on the credit application. And in this current market, a seller and their agent, they're not going to accept an offer that's just pre-qualified.
No way.
So, you get something from an online lender that's not local and they can't get in touch with the lender, they're going to call them, they're qualified or they're pre-approved. Have you actually seen all of their information? And if they can't get in touch with that lender, even if it's on the weekend, they're just going to pass over and go to the next offer. You definitely want somebody they can get in touch with, but pre-approval at the very least is, really, important right now.
What's even better than pre-approval?
So we can do a credit approval, to where we do a conditional credit approval up front, to where we actually have underwriting, do an initial review of the file. So that's needed, especially when you have somebody who may be right on the fence with certain things based on the program that they're using. It's not always necessary, but it's a great next step if you need somebody that can be more competitive in the marketplace, to say, okay, we already got credit approval on this person, we can close them in 2.5, 3 weeks. If they're putting in an offer, on a home that the seller needs to be out by X time, then, if you can say, hey, my person needs, already credit approved, we can push this through ASAP. So
Big difference.
mhm.
You want to get your people as far as you can, makes them a much solid buyer. That the agent was, and as a listing agent, you want to know that. When you get offers coming, you want to call those lenders.
How far into the process can you get without being actually qualified for a loan,
So you can vet out most of your credit stuff, right? So past addresses, you can do employment verification. You can, depending on the program that you're using, and you can get it all the way through initial credit approval. Yes, you need the home because you'll need to, then underwrite this whole package under the home. You're basically doing an initial underwrite based on this fictitious home that you're buying, right? And if for some reason what you end up buying doesn't match that scenario at all, then yeah, you've got to sort of go back, take a step back and really look at it. But under the assumption that you're going to buy something with these types of parameters, then you can get it pretty far down the road. And then once you plug in the house, and get disclosures out, those types of things, then you can move it a lot quicker through the system.
And then with just a pre-approval, will that have a number attached as to like how much they're?
Yes.
Yes, and again, depending on the situation of borrower, your pre-approval. So when I do a pre-approval, I'm gonna say, okay, you're pre-approved for up to around X amount, right?
So it's still a ballpark.
It is a little bit because each property is going to be different. Part of the pre-approval is based on that person's debt to income ratio and how much payment they're allowed. So if you say you're pre-approved for 400,000, you're pushing their debt to income limit. Well, if you find a $400,000 house with a $500 a month HOA and enormous taxes, they might not be approved for that house, but they may be approved for one for 425 that has no HOA and low taxes. And so that's why it's sort of a range. When we do a pre-approval, I'll give that person a pre-approval letter, but I also tell them and their agent, say, listen, when you find a house that you're actually going to offer on, let me know. I'm going to update the pre-approval letter. First of all, it's not going to be stale dated. You're going to have it updated. You're going to have a current date on it, which listing agent, is going to be important to them. And also it's going to be specific to the offer. It's going to be specific to the amount you guys are offering on that house. So you're not just getting this generic pre-approval letter. So yeah, absolutely, we'll tailor it to that.
I always go and ask my lender for a new one.
Yeah.
Once
Each
you
time.
find a house that they like.
Every time, because it won't be the first one.
Mhm.
You have them looking in a wide range, and I'm not gonna use the pre-approval for $500,000 on a house that's $450.
Right.
Let's counter them. I mean, use a listing agent, that's what I would say. You can go higher, right?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I look at it from all angles. Protect your client. But also, like, having it a little bit higher could say, these guys are good buyers, like, this isn't the max that they can do. They can go a little bit higher, right? All right, choosing your lender, talks about that. Pre-approval perfected, the 0+ loan, of course, they're gonna throw in Keller Mortgage in here, so your choice if you wanna keep that in or get rid of it, if you have Josh doing it with you. Maybe it's Josh's choice if you want to have Keller Mortgage in there or not. Create a budget. So again, remember, this is for them to look at. Definitely change colors, guys. Monthly mortgage payment talks about, a lot of people don't understand that, right? Your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. This is also really important for you guys to know, because when you're, if you're doing a rent back after closing and you're helping write what your rent is going to be, well, usually it's the PITI, right? So you need to understand what that means, so that now you're very knowledgeable when you talk to your buyer about, well, let's ask for what your PITI is and let's find out from your lender what it's going to be. And then divide it out by how many days. What if it's only 5 days? We have to pay rent for that, right?
Don't you pay off interest before you pay off your loan? Is that true?
Oh, they'll always collect months of interest, right?
Yeah. Oh, you mean at closing?
At closing. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
the remaining days of the month.
Right.
So if you close on the 31st, you got 1 day.
And you got 1 day.
So if you close on the 1st, then you got 30
Yeah.
or whatever. days.
Yeah. So like when you're talking, this really plays into, I think we've talked about this a little bit before, but when you're helping your buyer choose their close date, right? There's a couple things that are going to play into it to help determine what day that's going to be. Number one is that you're going to make sure the lender says, yeah, we can close in 30 days, or if we need up to 45 days or whatever it is, because that's the most important. If you just go in and randomly pick a date, let's do it in 30 days. And then the lender says, there's no way we can do it. There's too many things that we have to underwrite, or maybe the appraisals can be really hard, or what, there are circumstances that could take it longer than 30 days. So talk to the lender, make sure that you have a good idea of how many days you need for closing. And then when you sit down with them, and you want to do this before you write the offers, right? So when you sit down, because when your buyer wants to write an offer, they want to write an offer right now. They're excited, they don't want to miss the house. So let's do it. So you want all this information ahead of time. So you're going to sit down. What do? Pull out a dang calendar, guys. Because there's a few things you need to look at. Weekends, can we close on a weekend?
No.
No.
No. Are there random holidays out there that are federal that we forget about that are not business days?
Yes.
Yeah. If it's a federal holiday or, well, it's a county, right? County. It's a federal holiday, it will not close on that day. So you've got to make sure that you're skipping over those days when you figure that out. Then the next most important thing to figure out is what day of the week do we want to close? Do we want to close on a Friday? Josh?
No.
Take a picture of you plans.
No.
Especially in Clackamas County. Clackamas
Especially.
County closes early.
Yep.
And the recording office closes early, so.
Yeah, so if you're, if the lender, sorry, Josh, if the lender is still reviewing, or they don't get the documents back from the notary, or whatever it is, there could be anything, a number of things that could delay your closing. If it doesn't get approved, the lender is the last one that approves all of the signed paperwork for them to tell the escrow, okay, now you can record. Well, now they got to send it over to the county to record it. There's cutoffs. Even if it's not done, your buyers have movers scheduled for Saturday to move their house. And now they can't move in and because we're not closed. Wednesday is a fantastic day to do a closing, because then if it doesn't close on Wednesday, you still have Thursday and Friday to get to it, right? And besides, don't most homeowners want to go in and do something to it before they actually move in? So now you're giving them a day or two, because a lot of times they don't think about it. Give them a couple extra days to go and, I don't know, touch up paint. They could do all kinds of stuff, right? Go check it out, camp in it overnight, change your mind about buying it. Just kidding. And then the next thing that you want to do is you also want to think about the date of the month that they close, right? So with interest, this is why I brought this up, because of the interest. When you close on a home, if you close on, let's say you close on January 1st. Well, you can't January 1st. Let's say December 1st, because it fell on a weekday. Their first payment is not due until February 1st. Do you think you're going to be like a superstar to them when you tell them that they say they owned a house and they're buying a new house, right? They now have no house payment for 2 months. That does a lot, right? When they close though, their closing costs are going to be the whole month of December of interest. Okay, so that's where the interest comes in. So they're going to collect the whole month of interest. Now, what if we close in the middle of the month? Now they have like a month and a half. Still fantastic. They won't have as many closing costs, right? So if closing costs are too much of it, they don't have that much, we need to save on that. Maybe we go to the middle of the month, or maybe we do go to the last day of the month or near to it. So they only have a couple days of interest for closing costs, because it can make a big difference in there. And then they have 1 full month with no payment, and then their payment is due. Knowing these things.
So if you've negotiated that the seller's gonna cover X amount of closing costs, you wanna close them at the beginning of the month?
Sorry,
You'd wanna close them at the beginning of the month?
quite possibly, depends. Today's market, you're not getting so much
Because there
closing
was an
costs.
example you were doing the other day, or maybe it was Kelly or somebody, about how there was X amount of dollars that was negotiated for closing
Yeah.
costs, and then you
Closing
didn't
costs
reach
and
that
prepaids.
amount. And so
Yeah,
that
and
money
then you
just
lose
goes out
it.
in the ether.
Yeah,
But if you negotiate so that they close on the first of the month, then you can use up that money.
Yeah.
And they still get 2 months of no home payments.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's the other thing. If you have closing costs, you're not going to get closing costs paid in today's market. If you do, it's a miracle.
We've had a couple of those miracles.
You've had a couple miracles lately. Good job.
Yeah.
It's probably one that's been sitting a little bit.
Right, I mean, if you find the right house,
You might be able
right
to get.
motivated buyer, then,
Mhm.
then you can still do it. You're right, if there's money left over, you've got to find a way to spend it. So, either you can add to, like you said, you can close it earlier in the month, add to the per diem, or I just had this one for one, ended up, we had about $1,200 left over, and so they got a 2-year home warranty. We added in,
There you go.
On that, sometimes they can use the money to buy the rate down further, so.
Because it's closing costs, it's how you word the closing costs too, right? Which is what Kelly talked about. Make sure that the way you write it in the offer, that it includes their prepaids and all closing costs, prepaids and
Closing costs and prepaid escrows.
yeah.
Mhm.
Because then, but only, it can only go towards those things.
Right, yeah, it's basically, it's gonna go towards those costs, it just can't go towards down payment.
Yeah.
So. Mhm.
So you always want to ask the lender, what are their total closing costs? What can we use for a credit? Because it's a different thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so then going on, it talks about down payment, talks about side jobs, and this is where you want a lender in here, right? Because they can really talk about this information. We're not the expert in any of this mortgage information. Having a lender to help you. This is a big one, and it should definitely be in a different color. Because we talked about this too. Really go over maintaining your pre-approval status all the way through till closing. No big purchases, no new credit or debt added, no job changes. Pay all your bills on time. There's a whole list of things, and I bet, do you have a flyer for it?
Yeah.
What not to do,
Yeah,
or what to do and not to do now that you're pending?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Email out.
Oh,
We have a flyer, it's literally called, do's and
the
don'ts.
do's and don'ts. Everybody should have that.
Yeah.
Every single person. And then you have to remind them and remind them and remind them all the way through the transaction, because guess what? Oh, you didn't tell me that. I didn't know that. Or they get suckered in by the no payment for 90 days for all new furniture for their home.
Yeah, this time of year is tough because people are going to the.
Ooh, there's shopping sales all over.
They're offering, hey, get this, get 20% off of your purchase today for,
Yes,
for a
you
credit
sign up
card
for
at
the credit
department
card.
Store, we see that all the time. right?
And then
Like, don't do it.
bam,
don't
now
do
they
it.
can't close on the
Right,
home.
You might have saved $20, but,
Now you lost your house.
yeah.
Who wants to be the one to tell them that?
that's a-
Josh gets to.
Yep.
Okay, so step 3, I mean, you guys get it, right? You can just go through here. I don't want to keep you guys for the full 2 hours. Josh, I'm gonna give you 15 minutes. So this is like on there for you guys to edit, change, or I'll just keep going through it. We see lots of things that need to be changed. Talks about closing costs. These are all good things to do.
And we can,
Get started,
this
questions
is
and
in
answers.
the, on the KW Connect. We can look at
Yes, yeah, well, I'm also gonna upload these into Slack.
this. Okay.
Yeah, but you can go grab it all yourself if you want to on KWConnect. But yeah, I'll upload it in Slack, but, and then it's a repeat, right? What am I gonna do for you? You wanna remind them why they need to use you as a real estate agent, and then your information again, and it should stay on that. I think they want you to do this, download my app. I'd keep it on this, and I'd have business cards for them, because I want them to see me, my name, my phone number, my email, right? What do you guys think?
I need to buy a house now.
Oh, yay! Oh, wait, you're buying me,
I'm buying you a timeshare.
you're buying me a timeshare. Oh, here's the other thing that's in here that's not, hold on. Let me go back. Let me move that one over and come back to. There's actually a video too that they have that you can go. I don't even think I did it yet. Josh sat back down. Dun, dun, dun. I was actually gonna show you. So like in the marketing plan, I just pulled up the one sheet. There's a, here, I'm gonna pull that up real fast. Because the marketing plan is actually, where is it? With my mouse. Marketing plan. It was actually a whole bunch of sheets. There's an email template in here for you guys. A couple versions of it. Here's a call script to follow up on your email. Yes, no, how to answer it, how to talk to your past client, your database, calling a renter. Door knocking. I don't go door knock for a seminar, but here's the social media. I wouldn't do these, but I would change it up a little bit more, make my own. These are in there. I believe these social media graphics are actually under the counter mortgage one, I think, in designs. And, but then like they give you some caption suggestions that you could use, right? Edit, change, make your own home ownership fact sheet. And this is actually coming from certain places, right? These are things that you could talk about if you learn these things. You can, when you invite people, 86% of current renters want to own a home. What percent do you think never do? Do you think they have that?
What was the statistic?
86% of current renters want to own a home.
Is that another 14%?
People who never want that responsibility, don't want to take care of a property. They like having to call someone if something breaks. You probably have people who maybe high anxiety. Travelers. Right? Yeah.
Mentally unstable.
Yep. Here's an interesting one. Homeowners are far less likely to become crime victims than non-owners. I don't know, but I don't like that one. Okay. Anyways, there's some stats in there. Average, here's a great one to use for marketing. Average homeowner's net worth is 45 times that of the average renter. Buy your new home today. I sound like I'm an ad. That's a really good one though, right? Who doesn't want to increase their net worth? All right. And there's a tax one. We always go about the taxes, right? Who doesn't want to save money on their taxes? We don't like the sources clicking over here. Okay, so there's some additional things there for you. What happened to our little video? Let's see.
Once you complete this course and begin using the materials provided in this complete package, you'll be well on your way to an abundant lifelong business with first-time buyers.
This
You'll
is
be
someone at
delivering powerful
KW.
seminars that answer all of their questions,
This is someone at
showcase your
KW.
expertise, and motivate them to hire you. In this course, you will build 4 strategies that ensure
Okay.
your success.
Y'all want to hear that, right? So then you just
The
work your way
magic of
through.
seminars
Look
comes
at
from
that.
using a system, not
Oh.
just one seminar.
Okay, we're stopping that. I could have just played that and not talked to you guys. Would you have liked that?
No.
Okay. All right, Josh, bring your laptop up here. How about you guys online? Would you rather just watch the video or are you secretly doing it behind my back?
Yeah.
They're not listening. All right, we're gonna,
Can you focus?
We're listening.
you're listening. Who's gonna go do a seminar?
Me.
In January, February, maybe. All right. Austin! God, where are you? Did it work?
He's
Wait,
not
wait, hold
listening.
on.
What's that say?
Spell detect
I
your
was on a call. What'd you
speaker.
break?
Great.
Did you break
Ah,
something?
oh, you're up over here. It's up there.
Okay, great. All right, sorry, you can see all my emails popping up, so, okay.
Okay, wait, can you guys still hear us?
Yes.
Okay. Because it's saying we can't hear you on the computer, but.
Okay, so here's an example of, here's a Buyers 101 class that I did with, that I did with Rochelle here that you guys saw just previously. I can just hit enter is fine. For the for what social media one. So her and I did this one during Zoom or on Zoom last year, and we got a buyer out of it and closed and got on the house, and they were one of the ones that I said was a miracle that we got the seller credit for. So
Awesome.
did a 0 down program, got seller credit to cover closing. It was awesome. So anyway, so this presentation is similar to the one that she just showed you. It's just a different, sort of a different format.
Can
And
you guys see it now? Okay.
oh, good. The online
Yeah.
couldn't see it?
No.
Okay.
They can now.
Well, so the one that the template that Tanya put up is great. You know, this one works as well. Basically, you know, you've got to sort of mold these things to what works for you. You might not want to talk about everything. Plus, you know, with any presentation or template, it's really just a guide to get people talking and engaged and asking questions, because that's when you're going to get more, you know, more mileage off of doing these. So
Same thing with teaching classes, huh, Josh?
right, exactly. So so you can see here, you know, Rochelle put in an example of or she put in some information about her, some fun facts, picture of her and daughter.
Where's your fun facts?
We're on her slides right now.
All
So, and then, you know, again, buying a home is a snapshot. We had one similar slide that you put up there. And then she's
sharing
got lots of
something?
social media going on. Trust me, my slide doesn't look anything like this with the social media stuff. I've got my email, my phone number, and maybe my Facebook page. I'm not even sure if I put that on there, but I know my link to my website. So, and then it sort of flipped over to me. I got that old picture on there still. Anyway,
Just showing the link up
where we talk about, you know, I have this guide for 10 steps to home ownership. And it's really mainly, you know, this is when, you know, I talk about the lending side of things.
Oh,
And we'll go through.
hold on.
Oh.
We shared the wrong thing and I wasn't watching.
Shared my email or something. People are
May
bored
not
reading my
actually.
email.
Can we not share his screen?
No, because this is one PC and that's another. So unless
But
you
it's
are,
up here.
yeah, but that's not on this PC. It's all, you can only share this PC. That's just the image.
See why you need to
Drag
be in the
it, can you
room?
drag it over there?
Because like, it's not necessarily, it's because this is just now your own display. It's not the computer's display. So we can't share that particular image on Zoom. What we can do is if you want to log in to Zoom and share your screen, we can try that.
Oh, come on to the
And just
Zoom
mute
class.
yourself, turn off the camera and stuff.
Oh, have me log into Zoom? It's,
Yeah.
it's the same link. It's
Yeah.
like the team meeting, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, guys. This will just.
Sorry, you guys told me you could see it. Now I know who's lying. No.
We saw a page and it had a
Um,
link, a
Do we have a
hyperlink to
security
it,
set where
but
you can share
nothing
screen?
else.
Oh, I can't set that.
It looked like you just needed to click.
yeah.
So then we want to keep it on plugged in because we want everyone here to see it, right?
Yeah, that's fine. I know that one time we had an issue with like some weird echo feedback, but we should be fine. So yes, without video, it's fine.
No
Oh,
video.
whoops. No. Okay, but.
No
okay,
camera.
Join
Hey,
your
there's
audio, but keep it on
Josh
mute,
and-
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
now you can stop that.
You can
And now share the screen.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay. So it's really screen.
I
Oh,
would say screen two, because that's counting as your second monitor.
got it. Okay. Okay. And then I can flip back over here so that I can
That good, guys?
scroll through it,
Can you
right?
guys see it now?
You can't trust them.
Is there any echo or
I
anything?
know, right? They
Oh,
lied in so
good.
they could see it.
So I'll check and see if there's any audio issue, but it should be fine. No.
Do you want to just kind of quickly just show them from the beginning?
Yeah. So, okay.
Just real fast. We're going to go really fast. You guys can see this now, right? Honestly.
Yeah. All right. Well, so here's just the cover page for the one that Rochelle and I did, and then a little information about her. Buying a home is a snapshot similar to the one that Tanya had shown. Her social media stuff, so that people, you know, it's good to have, you know, these different platforms because you don't know your audience, you know, sort of how they, you know, how they like to communicate.
Yeah, but you
So-
also want to, don't feel like because Rochelle does all these social medias that you have to, right?
Well, right.
Do what makes it comfortable for you. She's totally into social media,
Yeah, absolutely.
which is why she teaches the class for us.
Right, exactly. So, And then it comes over to me. I do the 10 steps to home ownership, which are similar to a lot of the things that were on the other slide deck, but just sort of in a different format. We go through an overview of what those 10 steps are. And again, this is sort of a guide to get people talking. Sometimes we'll touch on different things throughout as people have questions. We'll have an introduction, talk about who your team is when you're buying a home, specifically you guys, your real estate agent and your mortgage lender. And then we talk about step one, which of course is the pre-qualification, talking about how much, what are the 3 factors primarily that it takes to get pre-approved, and what are those things, do's and don'ts. Again, we talked about that, for a pre-approval, things that you need to do, things that you should not do as well. Home search, and then this is when usually we'll flip it back over to you guys, and talk about home search, things that you need and want, needs versus wants, those kind of things. Loan application, so we talk again about, okay, now that we've now that you sort of know what it is that you need, here's what I need you to send me. We'll do the application, we'll do a full analysis of your situation, and then discuss what products and services are going to be best for you. Here, this is a snapshot of sort of your typical lending products. A lot of times people come to these classes because they want to know, okay, what are the first-time homebuyer programs specifically out there for me? And we'll talk about those as well. 0 down programs, down payment assistance programs, low down, FHA, everything depending on their situation. And then inspection and appraisal. Talk a little bit about that. Appraisals cost more than that now. We're going to have to update that. Inspections. Is that about how much the inspection is now, or is it?
You might need to up that. It depends on what kind of inspection. So
yeah.
when you put the whole package in, it's probably more like $750.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because most home inspections include radon and sewer scope.
Oh, yeah. Good
Right.
point. So sewer scope. Okay.
I would do 350 up to eight maybe.
So pretty big range now. So
Yeah. So if they choose not to do those other two,
mhm.
right? But I'm gonna tell them to do them.
One I find, so underwriters review. So sometimes people tend to get a little bit bored right around this, part, because when people do their pre-approval and I say, okay, you're pre-approved, then a lot of times people think, okay, whew, I can breathe. We're done with that. I can go look for a house, I'm offering. And then, I come back to them and say, okay, now I need updated information. Like, well, what do you mean? I gave you all this in our pre-approval. So I know, but that was 2 months ago and we need updated information now. So, we touch on this part as well. Try not to bore everybody to death too much on this, in this section, but this is where I explain to people, okay, now we've discussed the program that you're going to be using to buy your house. Now we send it to the auditor, essentially, is what an underwriter is, to make sure that all of your information matches up with the guidelines of that program that you're using. And then you go to final loan approval, closing, and we'll talk about closing, going to the title company or via notary these days.
I don't like that.
Oh.
I like it when it's closing in person, because you actually get to be there, and you don't really have to sign anything as an agent. You don't really need to be there, but why not be there? You were there for them through the entire home buying process, getting them through all this stuff. Don't you want to see when they're done signing the last thing, how excited, and you're like, pretty soon you're official homeowners.
Right.
All we gotta do is record, and then we'll meet later and get key. That's another point, right? Maybe have a bottle of wine for them, or bubbly or something based on, who they are. Just that for them right then to celebrate when they get home or that evening. talk about when
Absolutely.
you're gonna meet them at the house after it's recorded or whatever your future date is or whatever. So that's why I like the in-person closings.
Yeah. Components of your monthly mortgage payment. This is something that's going to be addressed multiple times throughout the transaction. This isn't step 7 of the loan process. This is just something we just discussed during the transaction or during the seminar. We discussed this from the very beginning with folks so that they are comfortable with, sort of what they're pre-approved for and what their payment is going to look like once this is sort of all said and done, right? And then we discuss funding, close of escrow, confirmation and recording.
Now you're official homeowners.
So we go through all these steps with folks. This is again example of our slide deck, and then we talk a little bit about Academy, and then that's it.
I like how you ended on you.
Uh,
So you guys, that's why you want to like kind of, you can combine, you can work with each other
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
to create
Taylor
one that
raised,
blends both of you
yeah.
and then kind of tag team through it,
Mhm.
right? And get those buyers. Oh, here's another thing I thought of too. Do you have to have just a first-time home buyer seminar? Who do you think would fall into a first-time home buyer? True. What do you think? What else could fall into the first-time home buyer?
Saying, but someone that's divorced and they've never bought a house on their own.
That's a good one.
Absolutely.
Who else?
If somebody has not owned a house for 3 years, then they're considered a first-time home buyer. So they may have owned in the past, but if it's been 3 years since they've had ownership in a house, then they're considered a first-time home buyer again. No.
And as far as needing to come to a seminar to learn about the home buying process, do you think the home buying process today is the same as it was 20 years ago?
No.
Absolutely not. So when you're thinking about, this is another marketing, like who am I going to reach out to? You're looking in a specific farming neighborhood and you have, no, thank you so much. If you're wanting to work with someone, you're farming a neighborhood and majority of homes in that neighborhood have been owned for over 20 years. Maybe that's a new marketing place that we need to do, right? Maybe they want to downsize. If they've been there over 20 years, they probably don't have kids with them anymore. Maybe they want to still stay in there, but maybe they might want to move. So that's another market that could be a not first-time home buyer, but would definitely want to attend a home buying seminar. Things have changed. Financing's changed. Home buying process has changed. Come learn about it, right? Outside the box. Okay, look at that, we're early. Okay, I'm getting pushed out too, can you tell?
I know.
They're starting to decorate in here for the Christmas party.
Passive aggressive decoration.
So passive aggressive. I'm surprised he hasn't started using the drill yet. I told him no drill. So thank you guys for coming. And oh, Josh, I did this and we didn't stop. Oh wait, automatically stopped. Okay. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely nothing next week. Like nothing. No coaching, no classes, no team meeting. I hope to see everybody here on Friday. And if not, Merry Christmas to everybody. Okay.
Thank
I'll be here
you.
on Tuesday.
You'll be here on Tuesday for what?
Austin's doing my first command.
I'm like, well, for what? And again, if you haven't scheduled your one-on-one with me, I am here all next week.
Can I
Okay.
do that? I don't
Just like
expect-
not late in the day. I need to go change those because we might sneak out early each day. I have a child at home. I have Christmas shopping to do. All right, guys.
I got my open cover. So I'm good. Cody. I was like,